Chosen one, this is not a season you can explain. This is a line you just crossed, and there is no going back. You can feel it. Something invisible but undeniable has shifted. You don't fit where you used to. The things that once satisfied you now leave you empty. You don't crave what you used to crave, and you can't even fake the version of yourself that others expect you to be. This isn't confusion. This is clarity disguised as discontent. Heaven has put a holy discomfort in you because your old life can't carry the next anointing. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to break cycles. You were never meant to settle for survival. You were meant to steward awakening. And now that the shift has begun, your soul won't let you turn back. Every delay, every rejection, every shut door, it was divine. Because if God hadn't blocked it, you would have missed this moment. This is not a breakdown. This is your breakaway. What you're sensing in your spirit right now is not anxiety. It's acceleration. The tightening in your chest, the urgency in your heart, the restlessness that keeps you awake. It's because the promise is waking up. God is sounding the trumpet in your spirit and declaring, it begins soon. And no, you won't have all the details, but you will have the direction. The instructions may not look logical. The path may not be familiar, but the presence of God will go before you. This next season isn't about ease, it's about alignment. You're being placed exactly where heaven intended, even if it feels uncomfortable. Even if it means walking away from safety nets, familiar places, or people who no longer carry your frequency. Don't fear the silence, don't run from the stillness. God is not punishing you, He is positioning you. He is setting you apart for something that cannot be explained, only revealed. You're not being overlooked, you're being hidden. And what God hides, He intends to reveal with power. This is the setup before the release, the hidden chamber before the roar. You were never meant to remain small, and heaven is about to make that evident. What once looked like delay was actually divine restraint. God has been holding you back because the fullness of your calling requires the fullness of His timing. And now, the clock in the Spirit has struck alignment. Do not mourn what is behind you. The people who couldn't walk with you were not assigned to this part of the mission. Bless them, release them, and keep moving. What is coming to you will require all your focus. Every ounce of your energy must be aligned with what God is birthing. There is no room for distractions dressed in familiarity. You are on holy ground now. Every step forward is an act of obedience. Every decision made in faith is a seed that will multiply. This is not just a new chapter. This is a whole new book being written with your name on the cover. So take a breath, look ahead, and understand this. There is no going back. The old patterns, the old fears, the old identity, they're broken because the assignment begins soon. If this word speaks to you, act in faith, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and comment the number 55 below. That number represents divine alignment, covenant, and a new beginning. This is your confirmation. This is your commissioning. And what comes next will not be small. Chosen one, when God declares a beginning, He also marks an ending. You are now standing at the threshold of something that cannot be reversed, and this time, you will not be talked out of it. The doubts that once derailed you will no longer have a voice in your life. The fear that once disguised itself as logic will no longer delay your steps. This isn't a motivational moment. It's a divine mandate. The breaking you endured was not punishment. It was preparation. You had to be emptied so heaven could fill you with what is next. There are places you're being sent that require a purified vessel, not perfect, but yielded. And that's what you are now, yielded. You're not chasing platforms, you're not begging for recognition. You're listening for the sound of His voice, and it's getting louder. That inner whisper that keeps saying, now. Don't ignore it. It's not your imagination. It's your instruction. You've been entrusted with something sacred. That's why the warfare intensified. That's why isolation found you. You thought it was attack, but it was appointment. God needed to get you alone so He could speak without interruption. What He deposited in you there, when no one else could see, will soon be the very oil that others need. So let the silence strengthen you. Let the waiting refine you. You're not behind schedule. You're exactly where you need to be to hear the next step. And this next step will not be small, it will not be safe, but it will be sealed by heaven. You are not being prepared for a platform, You're being prepared for impact, and impact requires integrity. It requires you to say yes even when the applause hasn't started. It requires you to walk away from what is good so you can step into what is God. And you're ready now, not because you have all the answers, but because you've surrendered the illusion that you ever needed them. The next door will not open by force. It will open by fire, the fire of obedience, the fire of purity, the fire of relentless trust in the one who called you. So do not look back. Do not rehearse the past. Do not second-guess the timing. You are not late. You are launched. Chosen one. There's a reason it's felt heavier lately. When the weight increases, it's not because you're weaker. It's because you're carrying more glory than before. What was once a whisper is now a mantle. What used to be potential is now responsibility. And heaven trusts you with it. This isn't the time to question why you were chosen. It's the time to remember what you were chosen for. You carry keys, not for yourself, but for others who are still locked in patterns you've already broken. You carry light, not the kind that flickers, but the kind that exposes, heals, and restores. You've been asking God for clarity, but clarity is coming through movement. You won't see everything before you start, but the wind will meet your step. This is how faith works now, not waiting for signs, but becoming the sign. You are the evidence that God is still writing impossible stories. That's why the enemy tried to silence you. That's why the tension came, because your voice carries vibration in the spirit realm. When you speak, realms respond. When you pray, atmospheres shift, and the enemy hoped you wouldn't discover that. But it's too late. You've already been activated. You've already said yes. You're not waiting for the moment. You are the moment. You're not seeking the open door. You are becoming the door through which others will walk into freedom. So walk boldly now. Speak with the authority you've been given. Move without apology. You're not here to impress. You're here to liberate. Everything you need for the next assignment is already in you. God did not forget a single detail. And what you don't yet see will be revealed when you arrive. You are not going unprepared. You are going in power. Chosen one, you've been trained in private for what will be revealed in public. The years that felt invisible were not wasted. They were woven into your discernment, woven into your endurance, woven into the spiritual weight you now carry without even trying. You're no longer who you were when this began. The insecurity has lost its grip. The striving has lost its hold. You've stopped needing to prove your worth because you finally know who authored it. And now, everything about your presence carries that knowing. The room shifts when you enter, not because of ego, but because of essence. There is no need to announce what God is doing. The fruit will speak, and it will be undeniable. You will walk into places where your name was never spoken, but your presence was expected. You'll find favor not because you demanded it, but because heaven scheduled it. Do not minimize the oil on your life to keep others comfortable. Do not shrink to maintain harmony with what you've already outgrown. This new season demands your full height. Stand in the truth of what you carry, even if it unsettles those still living in compromise. The path ahead won't always be smooth, but it will always be secure. God has already walked it. He has gone before you, clearing what could not be cleared by human hands. Every obstacle that thought it would delay you has already been overturned in the spirit. And now you will walk in rhythm with heaven. No more panic, no more striving. Just trust, just flow, just obedience without delay. What's coming next will not feel like striving for breakthrough. It will feel like stepping into what was always yours. There will be no forcing, no begging, no manipulating. The blessing will meet you mid-step because it's attached to your name, not your performance. So breathe deeper, stand taller, and walk forward, not with questions, but with conviction. Chosen one, you are not transitioning. You are being transformed. This isn't about adjusting to a new pace. This is about becoming a new creation. The old has truly passed away. The shadow version of yourself, the one that moved through life bracing for disappointment, is gone. And in its place stands one who walks in divine authority. Heaven did not bring you this far to leave you in limbo. The uncertainty you feel is not a warning, it's a womb. You are not stuck, you are stationed. And from this place, God is issuing new orders, not based on your surroundings, but on your readiness. You've been stripped of the illusion that your environment defines your calling. You've stopped measuring your progress by visibility. That's why you're ready now. Because this isn't about perception, it's about purpose. And purpose has found you fully yielded, fully awake, fully present. Don't be surprised when old opportunities try to reappear. They'll come dressed in familiarity, hoping to lure you back into roles you've outgrown. But you'll recognize the difference this time. What once looked like favor will now feel like limitation. What once fed your ego will now starve your spirit. That's not regression, that's discernment. And with discernment comes peace. Not the kind that makes sense, but the kind that holds you steady when everything around you is shifting. You will carry that peace like armor. It will go before you. It will silence every false voice. It will make you unshakable. The release that's coming is not just for you, it's through you. Others will be healed because of your yes. Chains will break because you refused to quit. Entire generations will change trajectory because you chose covenant over comfort. So stay locked in, stay focused. Let nothing seduce you back into spaces where your spirit must shrink. You didn't survive just to return. You overcame to advance. Chosen one, this level will not respond to your old habits. The elevation you've stepped into has new protocols. Heaven is no longer tolerating delay disguised as doubt. You are too marked, too necessary, too anointed to keep playing small in the name of humility. God isn't asking you to hide. He's asking you to host His glory with boldness. This is a season of divine confrontation, not with the enemy, but with your own limitations. The ones that have whispered for years, "Who do you think you are?" And now, that question will be answered, not with insecurity, but with revelation. You are chosen. You are trusted. You are assigned. There's no more wrestling with whether you're enough. That question has been settled in the courts of heaven, and the answer wasn't based on your resume. It was based on your surrender. You have been commissioned not to repeat cycles, but to disrupt them. You are the interruption to what has run through your bloodline unchecked. You are the voice that shifts atmospheres. You are the anchor for those still being tossed by the winds of confusion. This is why you had to walk through storms others never saw. It wasn't because you were weak. It was because God needed a witness, someone who could survive what would have crushed others and come out with fire in their mouth and oil on their hands. So don't tone it down. Don't edit your obedience to fit into palatable boxes. You weren't sent to be palatable. You were sent to be prophetic. And prophets don't explain themselves. They obey. There is a holy acceleration coming to every area of your life. Things that took years will now take moments, but this won't be rushed. It will be right. It will be precise, because heaven does not operate on panic. It moves in perfect timing, and that timing has arrived. Chosen one, there is a weight to this moment, but it is not a burden. It is a mantle reserved for those who didn't walk away when it got hard. A mantle for those who stayed faithful when it would have been easier to quit. You didn't just wait. You were made in the waiting. And now, you carry the authority of one who has been proven in silence. There will be no need to explain yourself in this next season. God will confirm you in the sight of those who questioned you, not with arrogance, not with revenge, but with fruit. And fruit doesn't argue. It just proves. You were never meant to be everyone's choice. You were heaven's choice. And heaven's choice always carries weight that the world can't categorize. That's why they misunderstood you. That's why you were overlooked, even while you carried the solution. But no more. What was hidden is being honored. What was silent is being amplified. And you won't have to strive for it. You won't have to chase it. You'll simply walk into it. Because what is assigned to you won't miss you, and what misses you was never yours. Your steps are being reordered. What felt like detours were actually divine reroutes. God was never late. He was leading. And now the clarity you've been craving will come, not as information, but as confirmation. The knowing in your spirit will become louder than the noise in your mind. You'll start to see the pieces fit together, the patterns align. Relationships will shift, resources will appear, access will be granted, not because you manipulated the moment, but because you matured into it. This is your moment of divine synchronization. Heaven and earth are meeting over your life, not in theory, in action, tangible. visible, undeniable, and the only thing required from you now is this: keep moving, keep obeying, keep trusting. Because the doors opening now aren't just for entry, they're for dominion. Chosen one, this is not the season to second-guess what you know God said. The clarity you received in the secret place was not imagination. It was instruction. And now obedience must speak louder than comfort. You cannot wait for consensus. You cannot delay for validation. When heaven speaks, hesitation is disobedience. You are no longer building according to preference. You are building according to pattern. A divine blueprint has been placed in your spirit, and it will not make sense to those who are still living by sight. But you're walking by faith now, not as a concept, but as a lifestyle. That is why your spirit has outgrown your surroundings. That is why conversations feel different, why shallow things can no longer satisfy. You've moved dimensions in the spirit, and your environment is catching up. Do not shrink back to make others comfortable with a version of you that no longer exists. God is not just leading you forward. He is stripping away what cannot follow, and you must let it go. Not out of bitterness, but out of reverence. Reverence for the magnitude of what you are stepping into. You are not just entering a new season. You are becoming the evidence of it. You'll begin to notice divine interruptions, timings you didn't plan, doors you didn't knock on, conversations you didn't start. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. You are on heaven's radar, and nothing can override what God has ordained. This isn't about being seen, it's about being sent. And when you are sent, doors recognize you, rooms make space for you, territories respond to you. Not because of who you are alone, but because of who sent you. So lift your head. Stop wondering if you're ready. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. The warfare you've walked through wasn't to weaken you. It was to stretch you, and now the capacity you carry is enough to house the weight of this next move. You've been refined, you've been prepared, and now you are being revealed. Chosen one, the atmosphere around your life is shifting permanently. You've stepped through a gate that cannot be closed, and from this moment forward, everything changes. Not because you forced it, but because you finally aligned with who you truly are. You are not stepping into favor. You are walking in covenant. And covenant doesn't fluctuate. It doesn't expire. It cannot be revoked by opinions, circumstances, or timing. What has been sealed over your life was authored in eternity. And now it's manifesting in real time. The evidence will follow. Not just in breakthroughs, but in how you carry peace under pressure, in how you speak with authority, not anxiety, in how you make decisions from conviction, not fear. You are becoming a living testimony, not of perfection, but of alignment. Heaven is entrusting you with territory now, not just physical space, but spiritual influence. Your words will carry weight. Your prayers will unlock realms. Your obedience will open doors for people you'll never meet. This is legacy. This is assignment. This is what the battle was about all along. So do not dilute the anointing to fit into old molds. Do not apologize for how God chooses to move through you. You were not called to be predictable. You were called to be prophetic. You were not chosen to maintain tradition. You were chosen to usher in transformation. Let the fire in you burn brighter than the fear around you. Let the truth in your mouth override the doubt in the room. Let the purity of your walk be the loudest sound in this noisy world. And remember, you are not doing this alone. Heaven is backing you. Angels are surrounding you. The Spirit is filling you, and the Father is with you. This is the moment where faith becomes fulfillment, where prophecy becomes movement, where obedience becomes manifestation. Chosen one, you have crossed the threshold. There is no going back. Now walk, speak, build, lead. It begins now. Chosen one, the shift you're walking in is not seasonal, it's structural. God has not just repositioned your feet, He has redefined your foundation. What used to shake you no longer stirs panic. What once caused you to retreat now causes you to rise. That's how you know the transformation is real. It's not in what you say, it's in how you stand. You don't need external signs when you carry internal assurance. The Spirit of God within you is louder than the noise around you. And when that voice leads, every other sound loses its power. You are no longer moved by the approval of crowds. You are moved by the whisper of the Spirit. You are no longer seduced by counterfeit doors. You are rooted in the timing of heaven. This maturity didn't come through ease, it came through endurance, and that endurance has become your oil. People may look at you and wonder how you got here, but they didn't see the crushing. They didn't see the nights where you worshipped with tears, not words. They didn't see the prayers you prayed when your voice was shaking, but your heart was steady. And they don't need to. Because this isn't about being seen, it's about being sealed. You have been sealed with fire. Fire that doesn't burn you, it brands you. It marks you as one who belongs to the kingdom, one who doesn't bow to culture, one who doesn't yield to fear, one who advances even when the path is foggy because the presence is clear. You are dangerous to darkness now, because you know who you are. And more than that, you know whose you are. And so you don't need to prove. You just need to move. The earth is groaning for those who will walk in this kind of clarity. Not arrogant, not timid, just fully aligned with heaven, fully awake to purpose, fully surrendered to glory. So lift your eyes. The horizon is not empty. It is pregnant. The future is not uncertain. It is unfolding. This is no longer about if. This is about now. And the now belongs to the chosen. Chosen one, breathe. Not because the battle is over, but because the outcome is settled. You don't have to strive to prove what heaven has already established. You don't have to explain what God has already confirmed. This is the part where you walk, not hurried, not hesitant, but whole. Let peace be your pace now. Not the absence of pressure, but the presence of divine perspective. Let rest be your rhythm, not inactivity, but intentional trust in the one who called you. Let joy rise, not as a reaction, but as a revelation that the promise is already unfolding beneath your feet. You don't have to be loud to carry authority. You don't have to be seen to be significant. You just have to stay in alignment. Because when you move in step with heaven, the world around you cannot stay the same. Miracles will not feel like exceptions anymore. They will feel like confirmation. Provision will not be a breakthrough. It will be a rhythm. And peace will not be a pursuit. It will be your portion. So go with this truth written across your spirit. You are not returning. You are not repeating. You are not retreating. You are rising. The oil is real. The timing is sure. The call is clear. And from this moment on, everything bows to the will of God on your life. You've heard the sound. You've felt the shift. And now you will walk in the fullness of it. Chosen one, it begins. Now, chosen one, what is happening in you now cannot be reversed. The seal has been placed. The shift is permanent. You don't need to search for another sign. You don't need to go back to the drawing board. What's been birthed in your spirit is already recognized in the spirit realm, and that's what matters most. You may not feel different every moment. You may still walk through ordinary days, but don't mistake quiet for stagnation. The authority you carry now is silent strength, not loud striving. The ground under you is sacred, the atmosphere around you is charged, and your presence is an answer to someone's cry. You are walking into places where the weight of God will speak before you say a word. Rooms will shift, not because of your credentials, but because of your consecration. You have become a dwelling place, and wherever you go, His presence moves. This is not about one breakthrough. This is about sustained movement, not a highlight, but a life. And from this life, rivers will flow. From this life, clarity will spread. From this life, others will find their way back into alignment. Don't wait for applause. Don't stall for approval. The yes you gave in private is still echoing in heaven, and that echo is enough. So as you rise, rise steady. As you speak, speak clearly. As you move, move with conviction. You are not waiting for the next moment. You are the release. You are the shift. You are the living fulfillment of a divine promise. There is no going back, and the glory ahead will not compare to anything you've left behind. Chosen one, you don't need to rush what's already yours. There's no competition for a promise that bears your name. There's no race to receive what heaven has already assigned. So breathe, deep and still. You are not behind. You are not late. You are positioned. Every day forward is not random. It's orchestrated. Every step you take is not guesswork, it's governed. You have been synchronized with something eternal, and because of that, You no longer carry the pressure to make it happen. You carry the permission to walk it out. The ache in your soul wasn't just for breakthrough, it was for belonging. And now, you know where you belong, in His will, in His rhythm, in His presence. And from that place, you will never again be moved by shadows or shaken by storms. Yes, trials will come, but now your posture has changed. You don't panic, you discern, you don't shrink, you stand. Because you know, this isn't just about surviving seasons, this is about fulfilling destiny. You will walk through doors you didn't knock on. You will receive answers you didn't chase. You will be entrusted with things you didn't campaign for, because this is the reward of alignment. Not ease, but access. Not applause, but authority. And through it all, your greatest testimony won't be that you succeeded. It will be that you stayed faithful. That when everything around you said retreat, you said yes. That when silence surrounded you, you still listened. That when nothing looked certain, you kept walking like it was already done. That is faith. That is surrender. That is what marks the life of the chosen. And now, your feet are steady, your spirit is awake, and your oil is flowing. It begins. Not just soon. It begins every time you obey. Every time you believe. Every time you step forward, as if the door is already open. Because it is. Chosen one, the deeper you go, the quieter it gets. That silence you're hearing isn't absence, it's intimacy. God is not far off. He's drawing you in, not to isolate you, but to distinguish you. You've outgrown the noise of surface spirituality. You can no longer survive on borrowed words or recycled faith. You need the flame direct from the altar now, and He is giving it to you. This next move won't be loud at first. It won't begin with celebration. It will begin in the stillness, where only surrendered hearts can hear the sound. You are not called to echo, you are called to originate. Heaven is giving you language for things that haven't been spoken yet. Insight for problems no one else sees. Vision for people still living blind to their assignment. You felt the tension because you're called to walk ahead of what's familiar. Trailblazers don't have maps, they have mandates. And yours is clear. Go where others won't, so others can follow where you've already been. But this time you won't carry the cost alone. God is surrounding you with those who carry weight in the Spirit. Not spectators, but intercessors. Not fans, but covenant bearers. You're stepping into divine partnership, kingdom alignment that multiplies impact without draining your spirit. And the confirmation will be clarity, not hype, not flattery, but peace that flows like a current under your every step. So when the opportunity comes, don't pause for permission. When the door opens, don't second-guess your arrival. You're not walking in uninvited. You're stepping into what was built with your name in mind. Your presence will no longer be a surprise. It will be an answer to what the land has been groaning for, an answer to what the people have been praying for, an answer to what heaven has been preparing for. And all of it, every word, every confirmation, every open door is leading to this simple truth. You belong here. You belong in movement. You belong in purpose. You belong in places that once felt too high for you, because God has lifted your perspective to match your calling. You're no longer living at the level of your past. You're living at the level of your assignment. Chosen one, the warfare around your life wasn't because you were weak. It was because you carry a blueprint that hell couldn't decode. Every attack was an attempt to distract you from discovering just how precise your anointing truly is. But what the enemy meant to confuse, God has used to clarify. You don't just have authority, you've been authorized. There's a difference. Anyone can sound powerful. But when heaven has signed your name and sealed your steps, doors don't just open, they yield. Obstacles don't just move, they submit. This is why you've been tested in places no one saw. Private pressure creates public power, but that power isn't for display, it's for deliverance. God didn't mark you so you could impress crowds. He marked you so you could disarm strongholds. And that's exactly what's happening now. You're no longer stepping into rooms hoping to be received. You're stepping in to reclaim territory. This is dominion, not performance. This is spiritual governance, not social acceptance. And in this new realm, discernment becomes your compass. You will know what to say without preparation. You'll know when to move without confirmation. You'll know what to release without second-guessing the impact. Because the Spirit is now leading, not just in your prayers, but in your posture, your words, your timing, your tone. You'll sense shifts before they manifest. You'll feel burdens before they're spoken. You'll carry answers before the questions arise. That's not pressure. That's presence. That's what happens when obedience becomes your native language. So do not apologize for your clarity. Do not downplay your authority. When you speak now, it carries weight because your life has been forged in consecration. You didn't borrow this fire. You bled for it. And now others will come to you, not for advice, but for alignment. Not because you have it all figured out, but because your surrender is contagious. They'll feel it when you walk in, the peace, the power, the purity. Because you didn't just survive your process, you became transformed by it. You are not what happened to you. You are what was refined through you. And now that refinement is bearing fruit that will feed generations. Chosen one, you've carried this word like a flame, close to your chest through storms that tried to smother it, through valleys that tried to bury it, through silence that tested whether it still burned. And yet, here you are, not just holding the fire, becoming it. You are no longer waiting for the moment. You are the culmination of it. You've been built for what's about to unfold. Your tears were not wasted. Your waiting was not in vain. Every hidden day was preparation for revealed glory. You are not in the hallway anymore. The door has not just opened, it has dissolved. There's no threshold left to cross, you've stepped in. Now move like it. Move like one who knows the cloud is resting on your shoulders. Speak like one whose voice carries weight in heavenly places. Stand like one who's already seen the victory in the spirit and is simply watching it catch up in the natural. This is not hype. This is not hope. This is holy certainty. The kind that doesn't shout to be heard. The kind that simply walks, and atmospheres rearrange themselves to match what's been spoken over you. You've learned to stop chasing what isn't yours. You've learned to stop proving what God has already confirmed. That wisdom, that restraint, is your strength now. It's the mark of someone who's not just called but trusted. And you are trusted. Trusted to speak without compromise, to walk without retreat, to lead without needing a crowd. You carry heaven's confidence now, not because you are confident in yourself, but because you're fully convinced in Him. So rest, even as you advance. Trust, even when the next step isn't visible. And rejoice, not because everything is easy, but because everything is aligned. There is no going back, there is no stalling out. There is only forward, only fullness, only fire. You've been called, you've been crushed, you've been commissioned. Now live like it, and don't look back. It has begun and nothing can reverse it.